your screen. It's Edgeworth duopoly model. The last model of the duopoly. And in this last model of duopoly, this is all a summarization of the past three also, and also advanced. This is an advanced version of the Carnot and a Bertrand and a Stackelberg. In an Edgeworth model, if you look at the slide, you will see, next slide, beta. He again developed, just one second. Edgeworth developed this concept as it is known as Edgeworth solution also, developed in the same period as you can see again in 1897. So that is what I want to always point out, that they all are giving these concepts in a around 19th century only. And it's a duopoly model similar to the duopoly model developed by Bertrand, in which two firms. So basically, it has a similarity with Bertrand. This particular model has more similarity with Bertrand rather than with the Carnot or Stackelberg. Next slide. F.Y. Edgeworth was a famous, actually, French economist who also attacked Carnot's duopoly solution. So he was a major critique of Carnot's duopoly solution. He criticized Carnot's assumption that each duopolist believed that his rival will continue to produce the same output irrespective of what he himself might produce. See, Carnot model and the Bertrand model, the difference between the two is Carnot says that the rival firm will keep its output constant, whereas Bertrand says that the rival firm will keep its price constant. So keep that in mind, keep this difference in mind. It's a very minute difference, but it's a very major, it's a very important also. So, Edgeworth did not agree with the Carnot's assumption or this particular assumption at all, that the rival will continue to produce the same output irrespective of what he himself might produce, because they all know that rival will react. So because the market is all about action and reaction and duopoly, so they were of the view that it will react eventually. So it's not, that is why Edgeworth criticized this model, and he said that it's not a possibility that this particular, it's not a possibility that the rival firm remains static. So koi na koi reaction aayega zarur. Next slide. According to Edgeworth, as in Bertrand model, each duopolist believed that his rival will continue to charge the same price as he is just doing. अब देखिए ये Bertrand का concept है. Carnot का था कि output same रहेगा. Bertrand was saying that price will remain constant. With his assumption and taking the example of Carnot's mineral wells, with zero cost of production, Edgeworth showed that no determinate equilibrium would be reached in duopoly. So, with his assumption and taking the example of Carnot mineral well, with zero cost of production, Edgeworth showed that no determinate equilibrium would be reached in duopoly. Now, he is absolutely right. Because if you will take a look, Carnot's equilibrium is never reached in Carnot, actually. He did show you 1/3 of the market share, but then there is no equilibrium in a Carnot model. But if you have taken a look in a Bertrand model, we had a two reaction, A's reaction and a B's reaction, and we could reach to one equilibrium point at that moment. So when this is the difference between the Bertrand and a Carnot and an Edgeworth. Next slide. The main difference is written over here between Edgeworth model and Bertrand model. You can jot it down in your book copies. The main difference between the two is that whereas in Bertrand, productive capacity of each duopolist is practically unlimited, so that he could satisfy any amount of demand, but in Edgeworth's model, the productive capacity of each duopolist is limited, so that neither duopolist can meet entire demand at the lower price range. Very simple fact, but very important. Edgeworth is saying that in a Bertrand model, productive capacity of each duopolist is practically unlimited, so he could satisfy any amount of demand. लेकिन Bertrand में ये है कि जितना भी डिमांड बढ़ती जाएगी, वो रिसोर्सेज उसके पास ऐसा लगता है प्रोडक्टिव कैपेसिटी इज अनलिमिटेड. अगर और डिमांड बढ़ेगी तो वो और प्रोड्यूस करेगा. But in Edgeworth model, the productive capacity of each duopolis is limited, not unlimited, so that neither duopolis can meet entire demand at the lower price range. Agar price range बहुत नीचे गिर गई, our price actually go down lower, then in that case, in a firm, neither duopolis will be able to meet the entire demand. So that is also one thing which have to be kept in mind. So these are the major differences which keep on cropping up in the next slides. Next slide. I said main difference. Each duopolis, then each duopolis accepts as much demand of the product at a price as he can meet. It is not essential in Edgeworth model that the product of duopolis should be perfectly homogeneous. पहला एक point लिखिए that in case of Edgeworth, productive capacity is limited. प्रोडक्टिव कैपेसिटी इज लिमिटेड. इसको एक बुलेट पॉइंट्स में लिखिएगा ताकि आप लोग इसको इलैबोरेट कर सकें. सो इन एजवर्थ राइट द प्रोडक्टिव कैपेसिटी is limited and the seller cannot or the duopolist cannot meet the demand at the lower price range, and the duopolist cannot meet the demand at the lower price range or at the lowest price range. And then in case of Edgeworth, product of duopolist are perfectly homogeneous. Very important point. Perfectly homogeneous. Absolutely identical. And hence is written, his argument will still stand or apply even if the product were close substitute, so that a slight price differential is sufficient for a good proportion of customers to switch from a higher price product to a lower price product. So what इस वाली slide में जो important है वो है homogeneity का concept. Next slide. However, in our analysis, below we assume that the product of the two duopolists are perfectly homogeneous. हम तो substitute हो सकता था, but analysis में जो लिया गया है, that is that the product is perfectly homogeneous and or are completely identical. No, just one second. However, in our analysis below, we assume that the products of the two duopolists are perfectly homogeneous. Moreover, the cost condition of the two duopolists need not be exactly same, but must be similar. So, एक तीसरा point लिखिए that in case of Edgeworth, the cost condition of the two duopolists are similar. That's the another point which you have to point out. That in Edgeworth diagram, the cost condition of the two duopolists are similar. So I'm repeating it. In case of Edgeworth, there is a limited productive capacity, and the duopolist cannot serve a consumer or a higher demand at a lower price range. In case of Edgeworth, there is a homogeneity, perfectly homogeneous product is there, and the cost condition of the two duopolists, as is written over here, need not be exactly same, but it is actually cost conditions are similar. So next slide. This is the Edgeworth model, and this is how Edgeworth duopoly solution looks like. Please draw it in your copies so that I can explain what is going on over here. It's a very interesting phenomenon. Draw it in your copies. The Edgeworth solution is made in the form of a triangle in which a middle line which you will draw is actually a demand curve. That is why DD is written over there. This is a demand curve. और जो दो लाइनें होंगी CD और एक CC, C डैश और CD, ये दोनों लाइनें जो हैं वो डिमांड कर्व की तरह काम करेंगी. So बना लीजिए, then I'll explain it to you. In this case, market is equally divided between the two. market is equally divided between the two duopolies. So that is a positive point. If you have drawn, please let me know. Drawn?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's move on. In this case, the next slide, or you just keep this slide in front of you so that you can understand, or you can change the slide. You already have a diagram. Take a look. हाँ, थोड़ी देर के लिए ऐसे ही रहने दो आकृति. Since it is assumed that the product of two duopolies are completely identical, assumption में आपने लिखा ये homogeneous है. It is completely identical. The market would be equally divided between the duopolies. So याद रखिएगा, इसमें 1/3 शेयर नहीं है, 1/4 शेयर नहीं है, equally divided between the two. Homogeneity की वजह से. आकृति नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. हाँ, इसके भी नेक्स्ट. हाँ, यहाँ से देखिए, आप पढ़िए, आराम से पढ़िएगा. रीड दिस स्लाइड and compare this slide with the diagram which you have in your hands. Suppose DC and DC dash. If you can see DC and DC dash in the diagram. Can you see DC and DC dash? Everybody? Alright, okay. Everybody can see that? Can spot DC and DC dash? दिख रहा है सबको?
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक. So DC and DC dash, suppose DC and DC dash represent the demand curve. As I said, ये दोनों demand curve हैं for E facing each duopolis. तो लिख लीजिए इसको, diagram के नीचे लिखिए, DC and DC dash are the demand curve of the two duopolis. They are the demand curve of two duopolis, DC and DC dash. Are the demand curve of two duopolis. Written? Have you written? DC and DC dash represent the demand curve facing each duopolis or of each duopolis. Okay. Further, suppose OB and OB dash are the maximum possible outputs. OB and OB dash are the maximum possible outputs for each. तो उधर right hand side भी OB दिखेगा और sorry, yes, right hand side you can see OB and left hand side you can see OB dash. So let's suppose OB and OB dash are the maximum possible output of the two duopolis respectively. वो जितना दे सकते हैं market को maximum production, that is OB and OB dash on both the sides. Maximum possible output of the two duopolis. If the duopolis form a collusion, now a collusion, as I said, it's a tacit agreement, it's a secret agreement between the two, and what will happen if the two have a collusion? They will set the monopoly price OP. क्योंकि दोनों decide कर लेंगे, it's a tacit agreement. It's a tacit means it's a secretive agreement between the two. Then both can actually decide कि हम दोनों को profit हो. उसके लिए let's, instead of fighting each other, a price war or a cutthroat competition, let's decide the price or जिसमें कि दोनों को profit हो. So he is saying let's take a for assumption sake, let's suppose that they set a price at OP and will make maximum joint profit. OP price set कर दिया. अब OP price जब set किया दोनों ने, this is for both of them. When they have said the OP price will make maximum profit, price OQ बीच की लाइन है, price OQ represents the price at which both duopolies sell their maximum possible outputs. तो OP का जो OP का कॉन्सेप्ट यहाँ से क्लियर हो जाएगा कि प्राइस तो एक तो सेट किया OP पे और OQ पे. OQ is the middle line. Now the profit. अब प्राइस जब सेट हो गया तो नेक्स्ट पॉइंट होता है कि कितना प्रॉफिट होगा इससे. लेकिन उससे पहले देयर इज वन मोर थिंग. कैन यू चेंज द स्लाइड बेटा? Change the slide. Okay. Assume that the two duopolies happen to charge the price OP, then producer 1 and 2 will be producing and selling OA and OA dash. OA and OA dash. Producer 1 will be selling. Producer 1 will be 1 and 2 will be producing and selling OA and OA dash. तो 1 sell कर रहा है OA and second sell कर रहा है OA dash. Okay? यहाँ तक समझ में आया अभी तक? What is going on here? Or should I stop here? Girls? Okay. I want answer from others also. आप लोग को समझ में आया? Okay. Sanskriti is answered. Shraddha, what about you? Okay. Khushbu? Did you understood?
Yes, ma'am.
आपको समझ में आ रहा है बेटा यहाँ क्या हो रहा है? What जो मैं समझा रही हूँ? हाँ खुशबू.
Yes, ma'am.
आपको समझ में आ रहा है? मैं ये पूछ रही हूँ. हाँ या ना?
मैम मुझे अभी समझ में नहीं आ रहा है मैम.
हाँ.
क्योंकि हमने स्टार्टिंग की क्लास नहीं करी थी.
हाँ, वो स्टार्टिंग की क्लास से इसका कुछ लेना देना नहीं है खुशबू. तुमने बेटा डायग्राम बनाया है?
Yes, मैम.
अच्छा, ठीक. स्टार्टिंग का क्लास हैज गॉट नथिंग टू डू विद इट. मेरी एक रिक्वेस्ट है आपसे, आप बस इतना करिए कि मेरा डायग्राम जो यहाँ पे बना हुआ है उसके साथ चलती जाइए, ठीक है? और जितनी भी स्लाइड्स हैं यहाँ पे उसको थोड़ा सा रीड करने की कोशिश करिएगा. मैं इन स्लाइड्स को ग्रुप में डालूंगी. ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस. ठीक है?
Okay.
So assume the two duopolies happen to charge the price OP, then producer 1 and 2 will be producing and selling OA and OA dash amount of output respectively. Suppose now producer 1 thinks of revising his price policy. So producer 1 will believe that the producer 2 will keep his price unchanged. ये वाला यही बात कि rival अपना price constant रखेगा, हम चाहे ऊपर नीचे करें, यही चीज बहुत सारों में की गई. Even Bertrand has done this. So 2 will keep his price unchanged at OP regardless of whatever price he himself might charge. So he thinks that number 1 or producer 1 thinks कि मैं कितना भी प्राइस चेंज करूं सामने वाला प्राइस को चेंज नहीं करेगा. So that is why what will happen is that he will actually try to change the price to have more profit. Next slide. With producer 2's price remaining fixed at OP, producer 1 realizes that if he sets the price slightly lower than OP, he will be able to attract a sufficient number of producers. इसको लाइन को समझ लीजिए. So बहुत सिंपल है. प्रोड्यूसर 2 प्राइस को कांस्टेंट रख रहा है, fixed at OP. Producer 1 realized that if he says the price slightly lower than OP, he will be able to attract a sufficient number of producer 2's customer so that he can sell his whole maximum output when he can produce, which he can produce. This would yield greater profit to producer 1 than he is making at present. So producer 1 ये सोच रहा है कि अगर मैंने प्राइस को नीचे कर दिया तो प्रोड्यूसर 2 पहले तो रिस्पॉन्ड नहीं करेगा, प्राइस फिक्स रखेगा ओपी पे. The second thing he is thinking that if he is successful in reducing the price and the A do not respond, the producer 2 do not respond to the change in price, then all of his customers will automatically shift to producer 1 and his profit will increase. But this assumption is based on the fact that the others will not respond to the changes. That is a very important assumption, that the other seller is not responding to the change. If producer 1 lowers his price from OP to OR, अब ये आपको उसमें दिखेगा डायग्राम में, from OP to OR. OP से प्राइस लोअर कर दिया, OR पे ले आया. Can you see that, everybody? From OP to OR, not OR dash, OR. He will be able to sell his entire maximum and will be earning profit equal to the area. अब देखिए एक एरिया इसमें मेंशन किया गया है. आप लोग एरिया मुझे बताइए क्या मेंशन है यहाँ पे. प्रॉफिट इक्वल टू क्या मेंशन है स्लाइड में? प्रॉफिट इक्वल टू what's the alphabets? What are the alphabets that are mentioned in the slide? Yes. OBSR. आपको OBSR दिख रहा होगा. OBSR. अब ये OBSR इसलिए हुआ, पॉसिबल हुआ. OBSR पॉसिबल क्यों हुआ? ये भी एक इसका भी एक रीजन है. भाई OBSR पहले तो नहीं था. So just one second. OBSR, which are greater than OAEP. OAEP को spot कर लीजिए. OAEP. Thus A would increase his profit by lowering his price. तो producer 1 ने पहले क्या किया? प्राइस को लोअर कर दिया. प्राइस को लोअर करने के बाद he expects that the other person will not respond. दूसरी चीज, he also expects that his profit will increase. And now, because of the lowering of the prices, the profit has increased to OBSR, which are greater than OAEP. Thus, A would increase his profit by lowering his price. Next slide. But when producer 1 reduces his price, producer 2 will find most of his customer deserting him. अब ये होगा ही, जिसका जो प्रोडक्ट चीपर होगा उस तरफ शिफ्ट हो जाएगा कस्टमर. So producer 2 will find most of his customer deserting him and his sales considerably reduced. Profits of producer 2 will therefore fall considerably. As a result, producer 2 will think of making a counter move. But he too will assume that producer 1 will hold his price constant at OR. So counter move की तैयारी करेगा producer 2, but he assumption वही रहेगा कि the other person will not react. Okay, next slide. Producer 2, as you can see, will see that if he cuts his price slightly below producer 1 price OR, he fixes which at OR dash, he can take away enough customer of A to sell his entire maximum possible output OB dash. हो क्या रहा है कि एक कह रहा है कि मैं इससे नीचे कर देता हूं तो उसके कस्टमर आ जाएंगे, इफ आई लोअर प्राइस मोर देन हिम then I can get his customers. Thus, when producer 2 cuts his price to OR dash, he sells his entire output OB dash and makes profit equal to OR dash S dash B. OR dash S dash B, इसको ध्यान से spot कर लीजिए. OR dash S dash B, which are greater than the profit he was making before. Now it's turn of the second producer to make more profit. Earlier A was making more profit. Now it's a turn of the second producer to make more profit. Next slide. As a result, next slide. Yes, Akriti, change the slide beta. Akriti? Diksha, some problem here? हाँ बेटा, ठीक है, वो ठीक कर लेंगे, it's fine. It's a yes, girls. After this, yes. As a result of this, sales and profit of producer 1 will greatly decline. Producer 1 will then react and will think that if he reduces his price a bit below our dash, he will be able to sell his whole maximum possible output OB by attracting customer producer 2, still believing that producer 2 will keep his price fixed at OR dash. Next slide. Thus, when producer 1 reduces price, his profit will rise for a moment, but producer 2 will then react and reduce his price further in order to increase his profit. In this way, according to Edgeworth, the price cutting by two producer will continue until the price falls to the level OQ, at which both producers sell their entire maximum possible output. इसको सिंक कर लीजिए. What is happening? Just a mere reaction. एक कम करेगा, दूसरा उससे भी कम करेगा, just to increase his profit. At the end, Edgeworth is of the view that because of this price cutting, both will fall to the level OQ, at which both producers sell their entire maximum possible output. Entire maximum possible output. दोनों बेच पाएंगे. That is the idea. Next slide. It can be seen in the figure that at price OQ, producer 1 and 2 are selling OB and OB dash respectively. ये आपको दिख ही रहा होगा. And are making profit equal to OBTQ and OB dash TQ respectively. OBTQ is a profit of 1 and producer 1, and OB dash TQ is a profit of producer 2. When the price has been bid down to the level OQ, none of the producer will see any advantage to cut the price further. अब जब वो एकदम bid down, एकदम lower level पे आ जाएंगे, तब there is no advantage of cutting the price further, so they will stop doing that. Next slide. Since it at price OQ, the entire output he can produce, he will not be able to increase his profit because of his inability to increase his output further. अब जितना आउटपुट बढ़ेगा उतना ही ज्यादा प्रॉफिट बढ़ेगा, बट अब क्योंकि प्रोडक्टिव कैपेसिटी जितनी थी उतनी मैक्सिमम यूज कर ली, सो दे कैन नॉट इंक्रीज देयर आउटपुट फर्दर. Because they cannot increase the output further, but according to Edgeworth, equilibrium is not attained at price OQ. Edgeworth argues that each producer will have no incentive to lower the price below OQ, but each will have incentive to raise it above OQ. उसने कहा कि एक चीज बिल्कुल क्लियर कर लीजिए कि OQ is equilibrium is not attained at price OQ, because each producer will have no incentive to lower the price below OQ. but each will have an incentive to raise it above OQ. So OQ is not an equilibrium point. That's what he's saying. Next, thus, Edgeworth says at this point it might seem that equilibrium would have been reached. Certainly, it is not in the interest of either monopolist to lower the price still further, but it is in the interest of each to raise it. किसी के फेवर में नहीं है और लोअर करना, दोनों के फेवर में नहीं है, आउटपुट और प्रॉफिट और कम हो जाएगा, मगर दोनों के फेवर में एक चीज है और बढ़ाना price. At price OQ, one of the two producers, say producer 1 may realize that his rival producer 2 is selling his entire possible output OB dash and serving half of the customer and cannot increase his output further to serve more customer. वन के पास ये इंफॉर्मेशन आई कि दो जो है वो ऑलरेडी मैक्सिमम कैपेसिटी में प्रोडक्शन कर चुका है, अपनी सारी चीजें सेल कर रहा है एंड कैन नॉट इंक्रीज हिज आउटपुट फर्दर टू सर्व मोर कस्टमर्स. Once the producer 1 comes to know or get this information, thus producer 1 realizes, next slide. Thus producer 1 realizes that he can serve the other half of the customer at the price which is most profitable for him, and he will accordingly raise the price to OP at which he sells OA and earns profit OAEP, which are larger than profit OBTQ at price OQ. You will have to draw this and understand what is happening over here. Next slide. Thus, knowing that his rival has done his worst by putting his entire possible output on the market and that producer 2 cannot attract any of his OA units of demand because of its inability to produce more, producer 1 raises this price to OP and thereby increases his profit. So it seems producer 1 will have a profit or edge over A or over producer 2, because they are not only, producer 1 is not only producing, but there is one thing also happening, that in case of producer 2 is the capacity to produce more goods has also run out. So he cannot produce more goods anymore. वो customer लेने से कोई फायदा नहीं होगा when he cannot provide the good to them. So, but when producer 1 has raised the price to OP dash, producer 2 will realize that if he sets his price rigidity below But when producer 1 has raised the price to OP, producer 2 will realize that if he sets his price slightly below OP, he would still be able to sell OB dash by attracting enough customers of producer 1 who is charging the price OP and will therefore attracting enough customers of producer 1 who is charging the price OP and will therefore increase his profits. So this is the situation. अब एक दूसरे में आपस में there is a competition. That competition has been settled once. They tried to settle that competition through collusive or tacit agreement by actually deciding at one particular price only, that was OP. But slowly and gradually, each of one of them started realizing कि अगर इससे हम थोड़ा सा नीचे कर दें अपना price, so I can have more profit. As a result, because of this greed, this whole chain happens, and OA reduces his price, then the other person or OB also reduces his price, then the price is further reduced to have other customers. So this seesaw keeps on happening, knowing that his rival has done his worst by putting his entire possible output on the market, then that producer 2 cannot attract any of his OA unit of demand. ये एक अलग इंफॉर्मेशन आ जाती है कि सारा अगर आपने आउटपुट लगा दिया पूरी प्रोडक्टिव कैपेसिटी से, you have brought it in the market, you cannot increase your output anymore. But when producer 1 has raised the price to OP, producer 2 will realize that if he sets his price slightly below OP, he would still be able to sell. See, it is still going on. So that problem is there. That is, they want more profit. Next slide. Okay. Accordingly, yes, this one. Accordingly, producer 2 raises his price to the level slightly below OP, but producer 1 then finding his customer deserting him and sales being reduced will believe that he can increase his profit by reducing the price slightly below producer 2 level. Again, that same thing is happening. When he does so, then producer 2 will react, and so on and so forth. Again, this will continue. In the last slide, next slide. In the last slide, you will see in this way, price will oscillate between OP and OQ, gradually downward but upward in a jump. As said above, price OP is the monopoly price and price OQ is the competitive price. It follows from above that Edgeworth duopoly solution is one of the perpetual disequilibrium. These are the characteristics: perpetual disequilibrium, price constantly oscillating between the monopoly price and competitive price, thus no determinant and unique equilibrium of duopoly suggested by Edgeworth's duopoly model. This is the last slide, which states that it is a perpetual disequilibrium state. According to Edgeworth, price constantly oscillate between the monopoly price and competitive price, and there is no determinant and unique equilibrium of duopoly according to Edgeworth. So these are all the slides as far as Edgeworth model is concerned. I want to come back on the diagram again. Can I have a diagram slide? Once you will have a diagram slide, जो भी आप लोगों को समझ में आया है, I want each and every one now take the turn and explain जितना भी समझ में आया, so that I can understand what you have got. Can I start with anybody? Can take a lead. I will not take anybody's name. Whoever wants to start. Just explain the diagram, whatever you have understood. Yes, girls. हाँ, go ahead. Okay. Hmm. 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 Absolutely. Hmm. 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 Absolutely. Hmm. 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 Oh. Hmm. 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 फिर ठीक, ओके। इसमें बस एक चीज मिसिंग है, यू गॉट एवरीथिंग। बस इसमें मिसिंग जो है वो ये है कि जब प्रोडक्टिव कैपेसिटी ये भी होगी कि बिकॉज व्हेन टू रियलाइजेस दैट वन हैज ऑलरेडी पुट ऑल हिज प्रोडक्टिव कैपेसिटी, ये भी एक एस्पेक्ट रहेगा, उसका भी एडवांटेज उठाया जाता है कमिंग टू दिस। ठीक है, थैंक यू दीक्षा, गुड एक्सप्लेनेशन। कैन आई हैव समवन एल्स? Take a chance, like she did it, take a chance. Don't be hesitant. Come on, explain. Yes, girls, take a lead. हाँ बेटा जी,
यस मैम, लाइक एडवर्ड्स मॉडल में इस डायग्राम में टू सेलर्स हैं, प्रोड्यूसर 1 एंड प्रोड्यूसर 2, एंड इनकी मार्केट जो है इक्वली डिवाइडेड है।
यस यू आर राइट। आगे
मैम डीसी
हाँ
ये डिमांड
हाँ
कर्व है प्रोड्यूसर 1 की, एंड डीसी डैश ये प्रोड्यूसर 2 की डिमांड कर्व है। और यहाँ पे जो
absolutely
मैक्सिमम इनका पॉसिबल आउटपुट है वो ओबी प्रोड्यूसर 1 का और ओबी डैश प्रोड्यूसर 2 का है।
okay
तो ना इन्होंने एक सीक्रेट एग्रीमेंट किया है कि हमारी प्राइस ओपी तक वो रहेगी, सेट रहेगी, और इसके
ठीक
बाद
okay
ये लोग अपना प्रोड्यूसर जो है सेल करते हैं
हाँ
अपने गुड्स को।
हाँ
और
ओके, यहाँ तक
मैम
बिल्कुल ठीक है सब।
प्रोड्यूसर वन ओ ए तक अपने प्रोडक्ट सेल करता है और उसे प्रॉफिट होता है ओ ए ओ ए ई पी।
ओके
और
ठीक है
प्रोड्यूसर बी
बिल्कुल।
वो ओ डैश तक अपना सेल करता है प्रोडक्ट और उसे प्रॉफिट होता है
हाँ
ओ ए वन ई डैश पी।
ठीक है ओके।
नाउ अब वहाँ पे प्रोड्यूसर वन जो है वो
हाँ यस प्लीज गो।
मैम प्रोड्यूसर वन अपनी पॉलिसी फिर से रिवाइज करता है और वो अपनी प्राइस को और नीचे कर देता है, मतलब ओ आर पे लाता है, और उसके बाद उसका प्रॉफिट हो जाता है ओ बी एस आर, जो पहले वाले से काफी ज्यादा रहता है। एंड नाउ सेकंड प्रोड्यूसर बी भी वही करता है, काउंटर रिएक्शन होता है। फिर
देन व्हाट हैपेंस?
मैम नाउ यहाँ पर एक ओ क्यू जिनका मिनिमम प्रोडक्शन लेवल रहता है, इससे नीचे वो प्रोडक्शन नहीं कर सकते हैं। देन ही
दैट इज
डिसाइड
द
कि हमें
प्रोडक्शन, ठीक है। is OQ a production level? संस्कृति?
नो मैम ये तो
हाँ
प्राइस लेवल, सॉरी।
हाँ हाँ ठीक, आगे बोलो।
देन ही डिसाइड कि अब मतलब प्राइस इससे नीचे नहीं जा सकती, इससे ऊपर ही रखना होगा। एंड
ठीक
मैम यही
ठीक, आई थिंक यू गॉट द कॉन्सेप्ट। रेस्ट व्हेन यू विल रीड द स्लाइड्स मोर, बाकी और समझ में आएगा, ठीक है ना। बाकी
ओके
यही है द रिएक्शन एंड एक्शन, बट एंड वही है कि देयर इज, आप लोग जो भूल रहे हैं वो शुरू में बोलिए कि एक तो आपने कहा कि अजम्पशन है ये कि द मार्केट इज डिवाइडेड बिटवीन द टू इन इक्वल शेयर, प्रोडक्ट भी होमोजीनियस है, ये भी एक याद रखिएगा, एक जैसा
यस
प्रोडक्ट
मैम
बेच रहे हैं, तो ये भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट असम्पशन है, इसीलिए कस्टमर शिफ्ट हो रहा है दूसरे के पास, क्योंकि वो प्रोडक्ट जो है एक जैसा है, बस उसको चीपर जैसे ही मिल रहा है कस्टमर शिफ्ट हो रहा है, तो ये भी एक इंपॉर्टेंट असम्पशन है। ठीक है, थैंक यू। डू यू वांट टू ऐड एनीथिंग संस्कृति, एनी मोर?
नो मैम दैट्स इट।
ओके, थैंक यू, अप्रिशिएट इट। एनीवन एल्स? एनीवन एल्स? यस बेटा जी, एनीवन एल्स? Who else wants to take a lead? समझाने से समझ में आता है बेटा। ऐसे लगेगा आपको समझ में नहीं आया। हाँ वो है आकृति, डू यू वांट टू टेक अ चांस?
Yes, ma'am.
Please go.
Um,
Two sellers. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
let's start from
In
there.
this,
Yeah.
in the given diagram, we have two duopolies in which DC is the demand curve of the producer one, and
Yes.
DC dash is the demand curve of the producer two. And they have the products are homogeneous, and the market is equally divided between the two. Now they both have set the price of the product as at OP. Also that the maximum output they can generate is OB for the producer one and OB dash for the producer two. So at OP level, the producer one produces OA dash quantity and the producer two produces the OA dash quantity. After sorry, ma'am. After
Yes.
revising the price policy by producer one, the producer realizes that if he drops the price to OR, so he will get the profit share of OBSR, which will be greater than OAEP, and hereby again in the counter reaction, the producer 2 will also drop the product prices to OR dash, and he will also increase his product profit share to OB dash SS R dash, and again his profit will increase. In this way, the producers are trying to attract the customers of the opposite producer. They are trying to gain the customer attraction and so that they can increase their profits. This process will go on up to the point of OQ, because as we have already told that OB is the OB and OB dash are the maximum output level they can generate, so that they can't they both the producers cannot lower the price below OQ. So both will settle at this price level. Um,
Okay. Okay. There is a last slide. If you can take a look, and let's go to the last slide, girls. If we can have a last. In the last slide, everything you guys have said is absolutely right, and then there is a conclusion which you cannot find. What is the conclusion to this? You will find that conclusion in the last slide. Yes. In this slide is written over here. Read it from here. Edgeworth duopoly solution is one of the perpetual disequilibrium. इसको learn कर लीजिए कि ये जो आप लोग सब phenomenon बता रहे हैं, reaction action is going to happen. Absolutely, one will try to steal other customer by lowering the price, and then realizing that the other do not have anything more to offer or output to offer, then he will actually take advantage of that situation. Absolutely right. So what will be the end result? The end result, as Edward has said, will be a perpetual disequilibrium, and price constantly oscillate between the monopoly price and the competitive price. Because early the price of the monopoly price was OP, but then the price kept on fluctuating. So that what fluctuation with the fluctuation which you witness in terms of a price was a competitive price. And thus no determinant and unique equilibrium of duopoly is suggested by Edgeworth. Now this should be your conclusion once you explain this diagram. So try to conclude it by stating that it's a state of perpetual disequilibrium. Anyone else wants to take a take on this one? Anyone else?